am Fletcher Brown with another artist video blog, Kicks96country.com. Our guest today, all the way from Nashville, Tennessee. Please welcome Sarah Harralson. How are you, Sarah?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, we were just talking a little bit about your music, and you got the brand new EP out, Watered Down Whiskey, which that there's got to be a story there. I mean, I don't know who you are, but if you're a whiskey drinker, you feel some kind of way about that right there, don't you? All right, and of course, you got the current single Denim, right?
Yes, I just released Denim a couple weeks ago. Watered Down Whiskey was actually one of my first EPs from 2018. But I have a lot of songs about whiskey. It's very easy for me to write
I
about
love her
that.
already. Already, we're best friends. Songs about whiskey are like some of my favorite songs. I love whiskey. All right, so before we get into the EP, before we get into the single Denim, let's talk a little bit about you, Sarah. I was like, now you're not originally from Nashville, though, are you?
No, I've been in Nashville for about 11 years now,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm originally from Knoxville, from East Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have family in Hoover, Alabama. I was actually born in Pell City. So,
Whoa! So
yeah,
you're an Alabama girl. I'm
I
sorry,
am.
Tennessee. I'm sorry. Born here, we're gonna claim her. We're gonna claim her. I'm sure that you're proud of her. But we're gonna claim her. All right. So, you say you have family in Hoover, which is down near Birmingham, the central part of the state. How did you get from Hoover to Nashville?
Yeah, so when I was 8 years old, my parents split. So my dad stayed in Alabama. I went
Mm-hmm.
with my mom to Knoxville. So I always say I'm from Knoxville because that's where I did most of my growing up and graduated from high school there. Was always around music. My granddad in Knoxville was a bluegrass musician.
Like him too.
So that's how I fell in love with music. And after I graduated high school, I decided to move to Nashville to pursue my dream.
Okay. So, has music always been the dream, though? I mean, that's like always. It was never anything else.
Yeah, it has been. I just never could imagine me doing anything else besides music. I started songwriting at a young age at about 10 years old, and
Mm-hmm.
just being around my granddad and my mother as musical influences really drew me to music at a young age.
Okay. Well, I mean, let's be honest. It's like, when you come from Alabama, I mean, one thing we do here is music. I mean, look at some of the music that Alabama has created. And even, I mean, really for that matter, Tennessee too. So you go to you move to Knoxville, grow up in Knoxville. Obviously probably Tennessee Orange, I'm assuming. Or are you
Yeah,
a diehard back home Alabama girl?
it's hard because I've always been pulled to both sides with my family
Yeah.
being like split between teams, but I'm kind of at a point where I really want the Vols to do well. I feel like it's their time.
I've always said no. I'm obviously I'm not a Tennessee fan, but I've always said that the SEC, in my opinion, has always been better when Tennessee's good. The
Yeah.
SEC's always been good. When Alabama, Auburn, and Tennessee are doing great, the SEC shines. It really, really does.
Yeah.
All right, and now that's enough about football. We're not here talking. We can talk about football all day long. We're not here to talk about football. You're in Nashville. You've got the EP and your songwriting. So who are you working with, like on this EP? Who have you worked with on this EP that has made this project, what it is for you?
Yeah, so that was my second EP when I was in Nashville. I released that in 2018 with
Mm-hmm.
Scotty Schultz. He was drummer for Shooter Jennings, and I had my first publishing deal with him. And then through the song Radio Static, which is on this EP, I met my next producer and publisher, Johnny Garcia. And he plays guitar for Trisha Yearwood
Yes, he
and
does.
Garth Brooks.
Yeah, yeah,
And
that is a name that is very well known. You're in good company, Johnny Garcia. Okay.
yeah, great person to meet. I was writing with my friend Justin Lilly one day, and he asked me if I wanted to sit in on a write with him and Johnny, and we ended up writing Radio Static, which is on the Water Down Whiskey EP.
Mm-hmm.
And through that, that's just how I started working with him. And Johnny produced my one of my most recent albums, Whiskey History, another whiskey title.
Okay. Now you've managed to tour not just in the States, but you've actually gone overseas. You toured pretty significantly in Eastern Europe. So I've
Yes.
got to know, because whenever anybody takes country music outside of US and Canadian borders, I always have to know. So what was it? What was the reception like over, like, what parts of Eastern Europe were you in?
Yeah, that was so interesting. I never expected to tour in Eastern Europe, especially with country music. Country music is pretty popular in Western Europe,
Yeah.
but not so much Eastern Europe. They love 90s country music, but not really so much modern country music.
Mm-hmm.
So how that came about, I also do producing on the side and record vocals in my home studio. So this musician in Bulgaria reached out to me last winter and said, "Hey, I'm taking this Bulgarian hit, Hello, My Friend, and making it an English version, a country version. Will you sing on it with me?" And I said, yes. So I sent him my vocals, didn't really hear anything else. And then he called me a few months later and said, "Hey, there's some Bulgarian news outlets that are going to be calling you about this song because it's becoming really popular over here." I'm
Your
like,
version is
yes,
wow.
our English version. Yeah. They loved how we took this song from the 90s and put like a different kind of spin on it and made it into an English version. And so then after I do those interviews, I find out that this musician who hired me is a mayor of a town in Bulgaria, of all things. Just so random. And there's this foundation in Bulgaria called the America for Bulgaria Foundation.
Okay.
And they help people in need over in Bulgaria. And we're doing their annual concert on the river, and they wanted me come over there, perform this song with Barney Espel with an international symphony. Like, how can I not say
how could
no?
you say no?
Yeah.
I said, wow.
Yep.
I didn't know that I didn't know y'all were doing that kind of stuff over in Bulgaria. I'm gonna have to go add you to my list of places I need to visit.
I didn't even know where Bulgaria was on a map.
I have a vague general kind of like, it's not maybe near Poland. I don't know. I forget. It's over there. It's on the eastern side. It's east of England. It's over there.
Yeah.
So you can honestly say I'm huge in Bulgaria.
Absolutely. And I never
that.
expected that. And that's what I love about music. You never know where it's going to take you. So I got to tour in Bulgaria. We did multiple shows, and in surrounding countries like Serbia and North Macedonia, just all these countries I never thought I would get to explore. And
I bet it was beautiful.
It was so beautiful. And my husband got to come with me, and he played drums with us. So it was a great experience. The mountains in Bulgaria are beautiful. We got to see the Black Sea. There was just so much to see.
Mm-hmm. All right. So world touring artist, and you also are an author. You wrote a children's book.
I did. That was another endeavor that I never thought would happen, or I never intended to write a children's book. But how that came about, after I lost my mother a couple years ago, my friend Christine asked me if there was anything in particular that my mom loved. And I said she really loved turtles. And so Christine said, when you least expect it, you're going to see a turtle somewhere, and it's, going to be a reminder of her. I said, okay, I took that with a grain of salt. But I feel like the sign came a few months later when I was watching the news, and a story came on about the symbiotic relationship between a turtle and a butterfly. And so turtles, if you didn't know, excrete salt from their glands, and it looks like they're crying. And and butterflies are thirsty, so they drink the salt from the turtles to get rid of that salt. I just thought it was such a cute story and a great idea for a children's book.
That's weird. Nature, you're weird.
It is weird. That is
so strange, but okay.
So the book is about an unlikely friendship between a turtle and a butterfly, and the turtle is just kind of sad and down in the dumps. So the butterfly drinks his tears and makes him happy again. And it's a great book for any children going through any sort of sadness or grief in their life. And it definitely helps me through my time of sadness and grief.
What's the name of that book?
It's called Turtle Tears.
Turtle Tears.
You can find it on my website on sarahharralson.com, or even Amazon online, or Barnes and Noble.
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about the single Denim. Now, that's one that you penned yourself. What is Denim? Is it just about a pair of jeans?
It's about jeans, yes, but it's more so about this girl's ex is with someone now who's always dressing him up in suits, and he's just kind of being too fancy. It's not really his style. And she's saying, get back to denim, get back to your roots, what you really look good in. So it's just a fun, sassy song about the very trendy fabric right now, but I think denim is always in style.
Oh yeah, denim is always in style.
Yeah.
That's always been a thing. It's going to always be a thing.
Yeah.
It's always going to be a staple of country music. Well, our guest is Sarah Harralson. If you want to hear the single Denim, make sure you call us at Kicks 96. We'll gladly play it for you. Look for a live performance from Sarah elsewhere here on our YouTube channel. And Sarah, if there's somebody watching who has to know everything there is to know about you, where do they find you on the internet and on social media?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, you can find me on my website, sarahharralson.com, and on socials, I'm at Sarah Harralson, so you can find me there.
All right. Sarah Harralson is our guest. You want to hear Denim calls? We'll play it for you. And thanks for coming and visiting us.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. And if I ever go to Bulgaria, I'm going to tell them that I know you. Maybe I'll end up in that town that guy's the mayor of, and I'll end up becoming a VIP. I'm like, yes, I know, Sarah. Here's a photograph of us. And maybe, you never know. We'll see you next time on another artist video blog, kicks96country.com.